Welcome to another edition of OK Boomer, the podcast. Brought to you by our friends over at Inked Marketing. Inked Marketing can get you from start to finish through and pretty much guarantee you they have a 100% turn rate right now on people that sign up with them for the whole program to take their Kickstarter from start to successful finish. Check them out for yourself at Inked Marketing. Right now, we just want to give you a brief rundown of a great Indiegogo that's going on. Only has a few days left. It is the Vampire vs. Blood Rights sketchbook art book. It is a 32-page saddle-stitched comic that includes art and sketches from the Vampire vs. series by Frank Forte. The art ranges from 1995 to present day, with character studies, cover studies, renders, creature design, environment design, pinups, and much, much more. The book hopes to reintroduce fans to the series and prelude to the continuation of Vampire Versus 5 through 12. Check it out for yourself at Indiegogo. You can also find the link at ink.pub/Vampire Versus. Here we are.
Yep, that was fast, man. Woo.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time.
You don't want to take too much time? Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
Let me warn you. Jesus.
So it's Will and
this is Thomas,
and we're here to do all kinds of things to Red Sophia.
This was a random growing out of the fact that we were doing Red Sonja last week. It was so good, and I actually messaged you, hey man, kind of like Red Sophia, and you said, who the hell is that? So I said, well, I guess I know what we're going to read next week.
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever read A Moment of Cerebus before?
I knew it was great by friends that were like hardcore Dave Sims fans, and but no, I had never read Cerebus before. But I knew about the sarcasticness and the quirkiness and the and I don't know. I feel like I am Cerebus.
You feel like you are Cerebus?
Well, once you go aardvark.
Yeah, you never go back. Damn it. But the thing is this is from the first. This is issue 3 and 4 from the series. We actually got 2. The second issue, usually we've been doing more than one issue lately. We threw in a second issue because you had going on about how the Elric team up in the original Conans were such your favorite issues. And when I was stumbling through, I didn't realize that Cerebus 4 is the introduction of Elrod, the albino.
Mm-hmm.
But I read them all, and I actually have not finished this series. Like I said last week, I think I'm up to volume, 12 or 13 of the phone books, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. But it went for 300 pages. The thing that's funny is the first 24 issues or so are like hardcore Conan parody. They're very funny, and the series is still funny after that. But people usually divide it up into thirds. There's like a first third, then there's like a middle and a last. The middle is where people just starts changing. The series does itself, and then the third, some people say, is completely unreadable. I haven't read a bad book of the Cerebus series yet. I will say that sometimes, though, they are vastly uneven. But the thing that's amazing, no matter what you say, is the man was so talented that if you read issue 1, which we didn't, if you go back to issue 1 and you move on to issue 3, his art has improved so much in 3 issues. That's amazing. And by the time he's 50 issues in, he's literally probably one of the best cartoonists doing any work in comics. It's amazing.
Well, I remember the issue with Spawn with Cerebus on the cover.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember grabbing that, and you're like, "No way, Cerebus and Spawn!
Yep.
This is going to be awesome!" And they look at me and go, "Dude, you've never read a Cerebus comic in your life." I go, "Yeah, but I know what it is, and I know he's funny."
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you know what the whole deal with that issue is, right? Or do you remember?
What, this one?
No, the Cerebus with Spawn in it. Spawn with Cerebus in it.
Oh no, I haven't read that since it came out.
Yeah, well, that was his issue. Was actually, if you go back and look at it, I've read some stuff on it too, because that's one of the few issues of Spawn I actually have because it's got Cerebus in it. But McFarlane was thinking about selling Spawn and was talking to people about it, and he had talked to Sims about it, according to what I've read and Legend or whatever. And the whole Cerebus issue is basically Sims telling McFarlane, if you sell Cerebus, if you sell Spawn, he'll be locked away like the rest of the superheroes, like Superman and the Hulk and everything else. He'll be completely out of your control, and you'll be pushed out of it. So don't sell your stuff, boy, because everybody tried to buy Cerebus because he was a rock star back in the day, but he refused to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget though too, because I actually have it. It's one of the early issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I have. I think it's like 7. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Cerebus crossover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they something happens and there's like a portal that opens, and the turtles actually go through the portal, and they find themselves in the woods, and they come upon Cerebus, and they get into a giant ass fight, and then they realize they're really the good guys together, and they have to team up and defeat the wizard to send the turtles back to New York City. The thing that's cool about that issue is the Eastman and Laird, they draw the turtles, but Sims still draws Cerebus in the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a crossover. It's kind of like, I think, because McFarlane actually, I think, draws Cerebus in the Spawn crossover. And there's another series, if you have to look it up. It's actually a fanzine. I think it's called Anything Goes. Oh crap! You look it up. Yeah, I think it's Anything Goes #3, and it's got Cerebus on the cover, but it's Cerebus by Neil Adams. Because I know you're a big Neil Adams fan, and I kind of forgot about this until just now, but I think it's called Anything Goes, and it's Cerebus by Neil Adams. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did, but it's like a tiny ass picture.
Oh Lord. I have that one somewhere. Where in my stack of comics, I have no idea. But yeah, it's a fanzine.
Let's see.
But it's one of the ultimate badass pictures of Cerebus. Yeah, here you go, people. We're going way down and pushing my memory to its ultimate limits.
Yeah. We're going down a rabbit hole because Thomas just woke up before the podcast.
Did I get the issue right? Issue 3?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm good. No. It won't get any bigger. You can't blow it up.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can blow it up any bigger.
Try the other one over to the side.
No, I don't want to do that. Oh no, it's not gonna.
But yeah, so there you get shows you how big the character was at the time, that you freaking get a cover with art by Neil Adams on a character that he didn't even make.
Yeah, so, if conventions are ever allowed to come back to the Northeast, I will have to look around Neil's table to see if and be like, "What are you looking for?" I go, "Well, I'm looking for that cover of Anything Goes #3 that you drew, Cerebus."
Yeah, I don't know if he could sell that.
He'll be son of a bitch.
How did you remember that? I actually found it somewhere. I can't remember where I was at. I was at a little convention. There were like 2 or 3 issues of Anything Goes there, and they were like $1 a piece. And I was thumbing through them, and I can't remember what was in the other 2, but the first one was like freaking Cerebus, and I got looking at it. I'm like, Neil Adams. But yeah, all right. So we'll get back into it now. So back to our issue. This is actually the reprint. Cerebus was so big that in '88, I think it was, 88, they had like in the 10th year anniversary or something, they started reprinting Cerebus and Cerebus bi-weekly. So this is issue 3 there's the original cover, folks. The Song of Red Sophia. I'm telling you, dude, she is stacked. But it opens, and this is all. It's kind of like Cerebus and kind of Conan #4, where he's going to go steal something, but it opens, and of course at this point Sophia is already with him, and she's like, "Beloved, perhaps we could slip into the bushes for a few minutes." And he's cussing to himself. He says, "This wench think of anything but not else." And they find out that Cerebus, like I said, Cerebus and her are stuck together right now. And then as soon as we move on to the next page, we discover that Red Sophia is actually the daughter of the wizard. And where did it say his name? I just read it a while ago. But anyway, so it's the wizard's daughter, and Cerebus has been hired by the wizard to actually go and make someone suffer for kind of making fun of his wife, and not his wife but his daughter. So he's hired Cerebus to go out and do that, and
I'm just finding it funny now that back in this time, there were apparently folding chairs.
Folding chairs.
He's sitting on a folding chair.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you bring it up. Yeah, he's sitting on folding chairs. The other thing that's funny is when you read the early issues of this, so he's hired, and Cerebus talks in the third person a lot of times about himself. And he does the whole, he does the exact, just like Conan does, a hill man born, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm the earth pig born and all this. Dude, you almost got issue 5, because after I read issue 4, I went forward. Issue 5 is the appearance of Bran McMuffin.
Well, now you can send that to me, because I want to read it now.
Yeah, it's the appearance of Brad McMuffin. So
I think they put that in the medicine they give me when I have an infection and they send me home.
Brad McMuffins.
Yeah, because like a couple days later, I have to do everything mobile on the toilet.
Damn it. So Cerebus gets loaded down with all the supplies and everything he needs, and he heads out, and he's like, "Hey, take my daughter, Red Sophia. She must see the man that you're going to kill for me, and he's got to die very slowly." And she's like twisting his ear and everything. She's like, "You'll doubtlessly appreciate my company and everything," but he doesn't say anything. He's just like, whatever. He's just thinking about all the gold he's going to get when he goes and kills this guy slowly. And they leave. The wizard's like, "Hey, don't worry. She's a good swords person also." So she's goodbye, father, and they leave together. And Cerebus is grumbling under his breath, and all these damn supplies he's carrying. And they head off. And she just keeps talking and talking during the whole thing. She's dancing and telling him how she likes to dance and does the sword play. And then she's shaking her butt and everything. She knocks the hell out of him, knocks him into the brambles.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets mad, and then he cusses at her. He calls her a little idiotic brat, and so she's had her honor besmirched again now by him. So she takes offense and starts attacking him. Of course, he jumps out of the way and dives underneath her. The thing, the fact that Cerebus is always drawn this way, the art actually keeps getting better on the character, and he's drawn so active versus the other characters is just always funny to me. So him and Sophia get in this massive ass fight, and she's doing all these little parlor trick sword fights, and he ducks underneath her and hits her on the ass with the flat of his sword, knocks her into the bushes. So there she stumbles into the bushes, and he readies himself for her to come back, and instead she climbs out of the bushes, and she's just like, "Oh Lord, Cerebus," and she's like, "I've sworn a vow to any man who defeats me shall possess me," and she's like, "I'm yours to command," and he's just standing there looking at her.
To my bidding, Cerebus likes the sound of that.
Yeah.
Here, carry the supplies.
Yeah, exactly. She's like all this.
I'm like, what?
It's all sexy time. No, he's like, here, carry all this crap. So he heads back to the village, or they get back on their way, and she's carrying all the damn supplies, and they get the village. And all they keep talking about, he's trying to get a drink, which like 3/4 of the series is Cerebus with a drink. He's just getting plastered. And she's like, "Oh, short gray lord, partake of my cup of love." He keeps cussing.
He's like, "Quit drooling in my tankard."
Yeah, quit drooling in my tankard. And there's another guy who's listening in, and he's like, "Oh my God, what the hell is she? She's with this little short gray guy that's paying her no attention. I'll go get some." So he goes over there and starts putting the moves on her, and she's like, "He's he's besmirching my honor. Cerebus, you've got to stand up for me," while he's not paying a damn bit of attention. He's trying to get drunk as he can, and finally, the guy smacks him off the damn chair and calls him the gray pervert. And now when they're off, Sophia keeps going on and on. So Cerebus has to end up fighting this guy who he's way too big. And he jumps around him and, of course, ends up knocking him out. And she wants him to kill him. She's like, he just murched me. You have to kill him. And Cerebus grabs her by the arm and drags her ass out while she's just screaming at him. It's like, "You've got to stop. You've got to go back there." And he won't. He tells her, he says, "Hey, if you need your honor defended that much, go back in yourself." So she turns around and goes in and beats the hell out of everybody.
He destroys the whole tavern and then comes walking back out.
Yeah. And he's standing there. He's like, there's a couple of them, Clovis, and there's Tarum. I can't remember all the gods in Cerebus, but yeah, he's Clovis beads. He's like, Cerebus begins to think that a damn dueling instructor could capture this whole foul country. And she's like, "Come on, dear honor, or come on, dear heart, I still have to pinch the tent and make dinner."
I think Tarum is to Cerebus what Crom is to Conan.
It's one of them. It's either that or it's Clovis. It's one of them. But yeah, it is a Conan spoof for the first 24 issues before it becomes a a political satire.
Yeah, before it comes into its own and just keeps going.
Yeah, so they go out there, they've got the tent pitched, and he's in there, and he's thinking about how he's really not looking forward to torturing the guy. And she goes to give him some food, and it's a bowl of granola. And he's like, "What the hell is this?" She's like, "It's granola, nuts, oats, molasses." And he gets mad at her. He's like, "It's horse feed." So they get into this big ass damn fight over the horse feed. And finally he leaves and he goes and finds some animal or something. His meat, he kills it and comes back. And she's like, "How can you stand to eat that? It was just alive a few minutes ago." He's like, "This is meat. This is what I eat." And she's like, "Well, if that's the way you sound, would you eat humans?" So, well, if game's scarce. She's like, "Well, that's really gross. Or I'm going to be, a sense of humor, or I think I'm going to be sick."
There's another dirty joke in there somewhere.
Exactly. There's the whole issue's full of them.
And even worse, you got this super hot girl, looks kind of like Red Sonja, only better. Yeah. And she's a fucking vegan.
And she's a vegan.
I'm like, oh, you just ruined my whole night.
Damn it. So I couldn't find the other issue I was looking for. I got to keep looking, but I'll find it and I'll send you a copy of it. The one where they're in the city. But so they head back out, and they've used up all their supplies. I guess they leave their tent. They're unencumbered, and they're going through the woods, and she just keeps going on. And she's like, "I'll do anything to please you." And he's like, tail massage, so sequins on your helmet. And, he's just right behind her, and she's moving the tree branches out of the way, pushing them here and there. And he lets them back, and it swaps him in the damn head.
Takes his helmet off.
Exactly. Breaks his helmet. He's got a big old knot on his head.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "The gold's starting not to look as good as I thought it was going to be." Then so she starts climbing up the hill in front of him, and she keeps knocking stuff down on him. The little rocks, a big ass rock. She's throwing. Let me get all these. Let
me get all these fake. Out of the way. Let me get all these fake branches out of the way.
Yeah.
And she's ripping a shrub down.
The thing is as funny as that's going, while she's really beating the hell out of him, she keeps telling him, she said, "I know a lot of good tricks. We don't even have to lie down." She's like, "Yeah, I'm into two-handing myself. I'm pretty good."
Oh my God.
She says,
I must have missed that one. She's good at two-handing herself?
Right there, dude.
Oh, I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I'm into I'm into hand holding myself. Sorry, and then and try Gregarian tonsil kissing. It's a specialty of mine.
I bet it
is. And then she's like, "Maybe we're just not into the same things."
You filthy
I'm not
animals.
That loud. No. So he heads there, and finally they get to the top of the hill, and they run into this well-dressed guy who's like, "Hey, Sophia," and his name is Taines Ferris. So she whips out her sword and damn near cuts his head off.
Mm-hmm.
And she runs at him, and he ducks out of the way. She's like, "You've besmirched my honor," and of course then Cerebus says, "Hey, if I wait much longer, she'll beat this damn guy to hamburger. I'm supposed to torture him." So he stops her, and he says, "Hey, he's worth a sack of gold to me." And then we find out that she's done something to him, or something to her, whatever it is, some kind of. I guess she was going to marry him or something. I can't remember. They say actually lay, but she keeps screaming at him that he's just a liar. and keeps calling Cerebus beloved and literally won't shut up. And finally, he takes his sword and knocks the hell out of her. The guy says, "You struck her?" Yeah, this is the first moments of peace I've had in 2 days after he knocks her out. So the guy gets mad. And he's like, "You struck her, you barbarian clad." And he's just trying to beat up on Cerebus, who just stands there like, what in the hell is going on? Who ends up taping him to tying him to this statue. And he's like, "I've got to torture this guy."
He kept slapping him on the head like a bunch of times, and he slapped him on the head like 5 or 6 times, and then he got out of breath.
Yeah, he's got
like a lung condition. Yeah, he's got a lung condition, so he's out of breath already. Like,
a lung condition. Yeah, he's like, and we find out that he's tried to be her lover and wanted to marry her. He's like, "Hey, when I could spend the rest of my life at her side, it would be heaven indeed." And Cerebus is picking up the damn knife. Look at the bottom. He says, "This knife's not heavy enough to cut bone. It will make a good skinning knife." So he just throws it away.
Yep.
Oh, damn it!
He throws it on the ground next to him, and
yeah, he finally starts a fire. The guy's like, "What are you doing?" And Cerebus has got a hot poker, so he's going to sit there and start hot pokering to death. Oh. And then finally he's like, "I got to figure out something to do to get rid of the woman. And, then I've got to do the torture." He says, so the dude faints. He says he'll risk his life to look upon the wench. The ways of men are strange indeed to one who's an earth pig born. And she's mumbling all the while. And if you look when she's mumbling, she's like, "Oh, my beloved, if only you would, oh my, anything, I'll do anything." And he's, "I have to listen to this all the way back to Tanstanbull." He says, and the other guy's like, he calls it heaven just to be by her. He says, "Maybe I can get rid of 2 problems by one." Mm-hmm. So then next we see Cerebus is returning to the wizard. So, the wizard's like, "Hey, Sophia's not with him. Hope everything's all right. She was with him, so she good morning." And "Hey, good morning, Aardvark. Have you done what I've asked? Is the guy going to suffer?" And he says, yes, he's going to be having horrible suffering. It's too horrible for even me to contemplate. So there's your sack of gold. I don't have it in the damn room or anything. It's sitting on the pedestal over there. So Cerebus goes and gets it. He says, "Where's my daughter?" And then that's where we find out what happened. He says, "I told her she would make Cerebus very happy if she married Ferns. She says, she did that for you." He says, "Sophia will do anything for Cerebus." And he says, "But why?" He says, "I figured that would be the most painful suffering that he could ever have."
Marrying your daughter will bring him pain and agony for years to come.
Yep, as long as it happens. And he just takes his gold and walks off.
Mm-hmm.
Into the next episode. But I'm telling you, each episode of the first 24 of the 24, the first big volume 1 is just worth reading because it's so freaking funny. Yeah, and what's good is he stumbles off and then it just picks up in the next issue. And there's our cover for issue 4. Like I said, face to waist with Elrod.
Elrod the albino.
Elrod the albino. All right, I'm going to ask, because once you hear it and think about it in your head, do you realize who Elrod talks like? Who do you, in the issue? It didn't dawn on you?
No.
All right, we'll read it out loud in a minute and you could hear it. What's funny is it opens with a good, this is Barry Smith, a Barry Smith homage right here, because this actually looks different than the other art. And there's a guy, we don't know who it is. It's probably Conan, who's running around and leaps over. He leaps out of this building and he gets slashed, and this like ring drops off, and it stumbles away from him and falls down the damn side of the building and bounces. And then there's Cerebus, who's sitting on a barrel with getting drunk again. We see this is a thing, but we found out that he's used Henrit's money. That was the wizard's name, and he's made all of his way to another city, and he's pretending to be a merchant, and he's a cloth merchant is what he's pretended to be. But he's getting plastered with some apricot brandy when this little gold like ring just starts rolling down the road. So he gets up and he says like or it's a gem, it's not a ring, so some kind of gem. He picks it up and he looks at it. Hey, it's lost by some nobleman, but it's mine now. He may use it in a game of Diamond Jack, which is their, I guess, blackjack, their poker. And he starts heading off thinking about gambling. And there's unbeknownst to him, there's like a slimy monster that starts coming up behind him. And it's working for the, looking for the gem, the little slimy monster is or something. So it goes to attack him. And but he's Cerebus, he's the barbarian. So he whips out his sword and he goes to attack it. Yeah, there's your Clovis teeth and anchors. And we get this little figure here, which is Dave Sims' interpretation of death, I guess. He says soon the gem will be mine when the monster kills Cerebus. He's going to just go pick it up. But lo and behold, Cerebus takes up his sword and, he's like, you're a demon born. And he just, you're no match for the earth, the earth pig. And he keeps fighting him and he's like, feed on this. And so he kills the monster. And then when he does, the creature, which is death, just stands there. He's like, from the dawn of time, looking at it, and he's defeated the pig. So he's like, well, damn it, that's not going to happen. I have to wait along. And Cerebus just stands there. Dude, I'm telling you, the art's so good. He does this all the time in the series. If you read a lot of it, this whole where, and they do it in other comics where, you've got you could see the thought process of the character as it moves along. So where'd the great beast come from, which he defeats, and then Cerebus heads off with death looking on. And he's like, he says, eventually I'll get it. But Cerebus keeps the gem and heads off. And the story picks up the next day back at the market. He's wanting to get drunk again and gamble. But he says, hey, I'm pretending to be a merchant class, and the merchants don't get drunk and they don't gamble until the evening. So, I wonder if any of them will want to do it early. But they're like, no, I don't, whatever. And then somebody knocks the hell out of him from the side. And he says, stand, I say, stand aside. He says, make way, boy. And there he is, for Elrod the Albino.
Elrod the Albino.
Yep. And he's drawn really similar to that early Elric appearance in Conan, which is funny. So they get it. He knocks Cerebus down, who's mad. And he says, you short, gray, and fuzzy, you have a thing for velvet. He says, speak to when you're spoken to. You're making a bad first impression. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You remember Foghorn Leghorn?
Of course.
Read it out loud. It's Foghorn Leghorn.
You'd blow it up. I can't see it like that.
Oh my, really? Yeah. He said, yes, speak when you're spoken to, son.
And stand up. You'll never leave your mark on the world, hiding behind boats of cloth all day, boy. Sooner or later, you'll have to take off the buddy suit, kid. Then I say,
Where will you be?
Where will you be? I get it, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, once you read it out loud, once you read it, eventually it's like, oh my Jesus, it's damn Foghorn Leghorn. The whole thing. You see. So, yeah. He keeps telling Cerebus, he's like, oh, you're overcome by my presence. It's okay. I'm not going. Yeah. Are you getting all this down, boy? Or am I moving too fast for you?
Oh, good Lord.
Did you miss that?
Oh.
Now you'll never think of him all the same.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll be watching Looney Tunes one Saturday morning, and Foghorn Leghorn will come on, and I'll be like, it's Elrod!
That's exactly what it is. He says, yeah, sorcerer, the spoiler of my kid. Picks his damn ear up. He says, are you paying attention? These ears look long. Yeah. You paying attention? Son, ears that long must be good for something. Are you listening to me? So they're going on, and finally Elrod pulls out his freaking sword, and he shows him. He keeps talking about his black blade, and my black rune carved blade, that is. Don't walk away when I'm talking to you. It's bad manners. So finally gets mad, Elrod does, and he pulls out his blade, which is called Seersucker. Which anybody that's read the Michael Moorcock stuff, the Elric, it's actually, Stormbringer. Mm-hmm. So he shows the sword to freaking, he shows it to Cerebus, who's like, Tarum. Says, who could believe a sword could get so damn rusty it would turn black? And Death, meanwhile, is just looking on. He's like, I want the Chaos Gem. And so he's overlooking the fight, and Elrod's like, you better start running, Junior. We're going to cut y'all into cold cuts. And he swings at the Cerebus, and he swords smash together, and the damn seersucker blade just shatters. It goes into splinters.
It's like I love how he's made out of wood.
Yeah, he's got his damn finger in his ear so he don't hear it.
That's the wrong ear. He's still got one facing right towards it.
Yeah, he's like, oh. So Elrod was like looking at him. He says, you're right, boy. Why should we fight? We're probably the two best fighters in the Southlands. He says, we'll join up. We'll make a team. It'll be good enough. You're probably right. But that's okay. He says, David, fast forward. He says, team up. Team up. He says, I know what you're saying. He says, you're not good enough to be on my team. You're probably right. But that's okay. What you lack for in skill, you make up for in shortness.
Says the guy without a sword.
Exactly. He says, look at me, boy. What do you expect to improve when you don't pay attention? Oh, God. So Cerebus is standing there listening to Elrod go on, and damn guard walks up, and he's like, you merchants are loitering. You need to go on. And Cerebus is like, I'm tending my wares. And Elrod just flips around. And he's like, hang on a chicken plucking mitten. Who are you calling a merchant? We're warriors, the mightiest swords in all the Southlands. So the guard calls them. He's like, guards. And Elrod's like, he says, you can't let these tin-plated people push you around, son. So he punches one of them, and all the reinforcements show up. And Elrod's like, oh, look, it's reinforcements. But these half-wits don't frighten me, Elrod the Umbirno. He says, we can take them all. And he tells him, he says, I'll take the one on the left. I'll leave the rest for you. We just see Cerebus going, yeah, what? And they keep they get in and start punching, and he's like, one punch, and he's like, 2 punches, 3 punches, 4 punches. He says, he's like, maybe if I had a rock, you got any rocks over there? And he turns around and Cerebus has already been captured. He says, not much of a scrapper, are you, boy? And they get taken off to prison. So then, now we see him in prison. And,
chained to the wall.
Chained to the damn wall. He says, well, it's a doozy of a mess you got us into. It's like Cerebus was trying to leave, man. I wanted to get drunk, and your ass is the one that picks the fight with the guards. I'm working on a foolproof plan. He says, they're lucky they put us all in here together. Stop fidgeting, son. You're ruining my concentration. Meanwhile, Cerebus is struggling at the chains. He says, if you're planning to break those chains, you can forget it. I've already tried, boy. They're too sturdy. And finally, he snaps them off. And he says, use your power. So when he snaps them off, Cerebus manages to snap all his chains and get loose. And kind of stumbles around. And Elrod's like, hey, you could help me out. He says, you did it, son. He says, use your sword like a shovel and we'll get out of here. And he says, we're only a few thousand meters underground. A little elbow grease, we'll be seeing the light of day. And so he keeps on, you're on it. Finally, Cerebus manages to break out. He says, I say now, set me loose. See, when I read it a while ago again, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot this. Yeah. I say now, set me loose. We'll make a run for it. I say, set me loose, right, boy? He says, better yet, son, I'll wait here. You go and get some more help, right, son? And Cerebus just walks off and leaves his ass. And he says, a nice boy, but he's got the attention span of an overripe grapefruit. So Cerebus just keeps climbing. He finds like a little shaft and he starts climbing up the shaft. And eventually he sees the light. He manages to get to the top and he pushes the damn door open. And he gets out in the well and he's like, God, what the hell has gone wrong? Everything's gone terrible, since something happened. It's got to be this stupid gem he's got. So he takes it off his little necklace and he throws it in the well. He's like, this thing, nothing but a troublemaker. So he throws it in the well. He's like, I got to find a blacksmith now to remove the shackles. And then the very next page is, Finn, the final of the story, and it's Death, who he walks away. He's like, some days Death thought himself, it doesn't pay to get out of bed. So that's our 2 issues. Like I said, I could have done more because to me they're so funny, especially the early ones. Even the later ones, they're very fast reads. They're funny, but the thing that's amazing about Sims's art is it gets so good so fast. Even the storytelling gets good. He does the personal whatever. I've read some articles. People are like, this is one of the worst comics ever made. All this because he creates his own little philosophy within the books and all this other stuff. But I mean, it's really amazing how good it is. And the spoofs are just so freaking hilarious. But even between this issue and the last one, you can see, I'll find a page. Just how much better. Look at Cerebus there, and then look at him later on in this issue. There, he does it again. But you can see that the story progresses. In the very first issue, his nose is really long, and as the stories progress, it gets shorter to be more what it is, what people think about when they think about Cerebus later. But he gets that whole, cartoon animated feel to Cerebus, but then a lot of the people around him are drawn very realistic for a comic book, if that makes any sense. But that's I don't know if you enjoyed them. I enjoyed them. Just reading them again was fun.
Man, you would have heard me laughing down in Georgia if I had realized it was Foghorn Leghorn.
I mean, when you get, I mean, and I don't know if he's doing it intentionally, but when you read it out loud like that, I mean, you listen to it, it sounds just like Foghorn Leghorn.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a couple times to read it. And yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, are you getting all this down? Oh my God, hold on. Let's see if it'll. Let's see if YouTube will ban us here.
Let's hope not. I got another show tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
What are you looking for? Some Cerebus cartoon?
No, I brought up Foghorn Leghorn. See if you could hear it.
Oh yeah, they'll ban us for that.
They'll ban us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. But yeah, you look at some and read it, and yeah, I mean, just listen to him. But yeah, it's ears got to be that good. Yeah, the whole, are you getting this down, or I'm moving too fast for you? It's freaking
Come on,
Foghorn
boy.
Leghorn. You remember the one with his with Foghorn, and he gets the little widow hens. He's teaching her kid.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like he's the bright. He's not the brightest kid, but we can teach him something.
And the kid's a genius.
He's like drawing the damn on the paper, and he makes the little folded airplane, and he's got the little machine gun bullets, and he shoots his paper airplane down. But yeah, the next episode, the next issue, which I didn't send you, is like Brand McMuffin, and then a couple issues later, Red Sophia comes back. Uh, it's really a great read. But you'd have to come in. I don't know. So there's your introduction to Cerebus, since you had never read any of it, had only heard about it. He's actually remastering them. I think it started last year. He started remastering the series and is publishing them out again. You can go back and buy them all. I guess he's just cleaned up the drawings and such. I haven't bought any of them. Like I said, I've got a bunch of the phone books, which I bought used offline, off eBay, most of them, and I bought them really cheap. But what was amazing is, like, I don't know if you know this, but like kind of like the Scout issue I showed you a while back that was signed and numbered by God, I can't remember his name now.
Timothy Truman.
By Truman, signed and numbered by Truman. The phone books, they were limited edition phone books that were signed and numbered by Sims and Gerard when Gerard was doing the art, because for the first 20 or 30 issues, Sims did it all, and then he brought Gerard in, who did the backgrounds, and Cerebus would do Sims did all the characters, and Gerard did the backgrounds. That's how they kept it going. But I've got a bunch, 3 or 4 of my set are like signed and numbered remarks by Sims and Gerard. And I bought them offline, and the guy that sent them to me, or the people I bought them for, are like, oh yeah, it's just a Cerebus phone book. Okay, it's $14. So I get them here and I flip them open, and like, holy crap, they're signed. Like, well, I guess I need to put these up. I read them once and put them away.
Yeah, I found 2 X-Men Greg Land covers, both signed.
Did you?
I found a couple of really nice when they redid the Invaders about 6 years ago. 6-7 years ago. I found a couple of Virgin variant, like special Virgin variants, but probably for stores or whatever. from Dynamic Forces.
Oh, sweet. And
Got
see,
the got the certs and everything in them.
that's the thing that's amazing when I buy, I buy a lot of bulk comics offline, that kind of stuff sometimes, because I don't have a local comic shop. So I'll buy just bulk lots of comics, and I've gotten all kind of stuff in that, you open it, especially back in the day when, now everybody signs books and they want to sign them on the cover and throw their big name, their name out there. Back in the day, nobody wanted to jack the covers up. They'd open up the book and sign them on the inside, on the first page. And I've bought a bunch of books online, and they would come in and they're all signed by the artist on the first page. I've got an Art Adams signature. I've got Magnolia. I've got the best one I've found, and I actually traded one off to a guy who I'm kind of friends with on Facebook, because I actually got 2 issues in, and they were both signed by the writer, and he wanted one so bad. And I said, dude, I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it. And I gave it to him. But I had 2 issues of Howard the Duck signed by Steve Gerber, who has been dead for years. So I've still got one. He actually, my buddy that I traded the Steve Gerber to, he actually sent me a Howard the Duck, another issue. I can't remember, signed by Longita, I think. I can't remember how you say his name, but one of the guys that created Howard the Duck. But yeah, these are quick reads to me. They're funny. There's no big superhero stuff going in here. It's just complete satire, early comics. There's no, to me at this point, Sims has no ulterior motive. Later on, he starts talking about other stuff when it gets political and changes, and like you were saying, finds its own way. But these are so good. And I probably laughed too much than I should have tonight, because I just woke up and I did think they're funny.
And that shit was funny.
There's a bunch of stuff with her in it later on. Like I said, it's funny. There's one, like I said, where they have they have sex, and there's one where Cerebus is trying to get it. One of the later issues, he's having to force himself into a damn suit to go to these ladies, and it's all itching, and his damn tail bumps out of the suit, and they think it's his wiener. They pass out. I mean, all kind of craziness like that. But so, all right. So I picked out this week, actually last 2 weeks. So what are we gonna do next week, man?
How about, since you mentioned Howard the Duck, how about the Howard the Duck issue with the first appearance of Kiss in comics?
Really? That's a 2-parter, right?
Even if it wasn't, you'd throw 2 issues in. He goes, he complained one time. I'm going to stick him every single week now.
Come on now, you read this. Yeah, that's Howard the Duck, 13 and 14, I think it is. Yes, dude, we can do that. I love Howard the Duck. I know it's crazy, but Howard the Duck, Scrooge McDuck, Daffy Duck, Donald Duck, all that same kind of things. But yeah, we can do that. Cool. I'll get them up and we'll get them over there to you and do next Thursday.
Cool.
All right.
So next Thursday, Kiss's first appearance in comics. And Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. We'll keep the animal thing running for a little bit.
Yep.
All right, man.
Okay, so till next week, peace, love, and read some comic books, everybody.